fail, reflecting on 2016.
So there I was in January thinking, this is my year. This is the year that I'm going to leave my corporate career and finally pursue my dream of becoming an entrepreneur, making a difference in the world as a motivational speaker, as a health coach, ending the obesity epidemic. I hate my job, I've had it. So the minute that the day struck February 1st, I started my maternity leave. Crazy, right? My second baby, I started my maternity leave. In one day, I quickly washed all her clothes, I sanitized her bottles, I got the nursery ready, and then I was like, now what? Rolled up my sleeve, pulled up my laptop, how am I gonna make this business happen? How am I gonna do it? I set my goals, set my vision board. I knew exactly what I needed to do. I enrolled in a course to learn how other successful entrepreneurs had done it, how they had gone from employee to entrepreneur and left their corporate job and became multimillionaires. And I was like, that's it, I'm doing it. There's just no turning back. So there I was. A month later, March 10th, my beautiful daughter Sophia was born. She's a blessing in so many ways. But she really gave me that extra layer of strength to persevere and say, you're gonna do this, Brenda, because I had doubts where I said, there's just no way, I can't do this. I have a 3-year-old, a newborn, I have bills, I have a mortgage. There's just no way that I could do this. But, you know, I dug into myself, the grit, the Mexican in me, the woman in me, and I said, I'm gonna do this. So I got myself a Moby. I remember taking sales calls while she was wrapped in me tightly on my chest in the Moby. There's like this huge, long wrap thing that you wrap around and you carry your baby. I remember just walking around my house, right, taking sales calls, praying that she wouldn't cry or that she would wake up. I remember using that very simple instrument to record videos in my kitchen, teaching people how to make smoothies, teaching them how to live a healthier lifestyle, posting them on YouTube. And then I remember at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, after she woke up and after I breastfed, I was like, thank God, now I have energy because I can't go back to sleep. So what would I do? I would start replying to inquiries, start reaching out to people on Facebook, on LinkedIn. I was working on my email strategy, on my social media marketing strategy. And I did a lot of successful things. I made a lot of mistakes. But I also gave myself permission to let go of those things. So I'm going to fast forward into what happened. August 4th, 2016. I went back to my corporate job. There was a ton of mixed emotions that went through my head. There was a ton of journaling where I thought to myself, did I fail? Why am I going back to my corporate job? I had made up my mind that I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't, I shouldn't, and I wasn't gonna do it, but I did. And what I learned by going back to my corporate job is that I really had to work on my mindset more than anything. In early 2016, even in 2015, I was this disgruntled, very grumpy employee. Many of you may have those same thoughts where you're like, I hate my manager, no offense, Chris. I hate my manager, my corporate environment sucks, everything sucks. I was just so upset. And then I started working on my mindset, thinking, Brenda, you've actually wanted to work for this mission-driven organization for years. You tried 5 times, and you kept trying. And for this position, they said no to you. You were the second runner-up, and they said no, and you persisted. So there's a reason why you wanted to work there. And so I started asking myself, how can I make this work? And then since I'm in the well-being field, there's this book by Tom Rath. It's called Well-Being, the 5 Essential Elements of Your Health. And there's 5 elements, career, social, physical, all of that contributes to your well-being. And research shows that the number 1 element that affects your true well-being is your career well-being, also known as your purpose in life. And it said that your manager can have the most impact on your career well-being or how happy you are. And I just started doing a lot of mindset work and thinking, okay, I'm working for a mission-driven organization, I'm a very mission and passion-driven person, and there's an alignment there. So I finally went up to my boss when I returned from my maternity leave, and I said, you know what? That's it. I'm going to stop hiding. You know, everybody knows that I have a business on the side. It's no secret. And I'm not going to hide anymore. It's just what I do. It is what it is. And I started sharing with him what my aspirations were, how I want to become a public speaker, and how I want to brand myself as this expert in the corporate wellness and well-being field. And to my surprise, he said, that's great. He started giving me tips on how to brand myself. He started telling me how to get an executive sponsor. He started advocating for me, being my biggest advocate in this extraordinary organization that I work for. Could you imagine? That was a missed opportunity. Had I not opened up my eyes, gotten out of my head, and realized how lucky and grateful and fortunate I was to be in this position. So, as I was reflecting on 2016, and I started to do it in December, and it's now March, but I strongly encourage you to, if you haven't reflected on 2016, it's not too late. Go back and do it. And this is how you do it. You want to ask yourself 3 questions. Keep it simple. Keep it very simple. The first question is, what am I really proud of? The second question is, what mistakes did I make and what lessons did they teach me? The third question is, what am I willing to let go of? And I'm going to share with you the answers to my 3 questions. When it comes to question number 1, what am I really proud of? Man, I'm so glad I took some accounting and I kept record of something, because it turns out that in those 3 months, I increased my sales from 2015 by 675%. When I was looking at the reports a few weeks ago, I was like, oh my God, it lit up my face. Because here I was moping around thinking that I was such a failure, that I hadn't met my goals. Well, when I compared it to 2015, I had exceeded my goals more than I could have ever imagined. What mistake did I make? I made a ton, but the one that taught me the biggest lesson, I made really bad investments. I lost a lot of money. But I learned a big lesson. Don't ever do it again. Don't ever do it again. Build relationships. Make sure if I'm going to make a big decision related to money, make sure I consult my spouse about it. Make sure that I have all the answers, that I've used this huge whiteboard to write down the pros and cons and why and what, because those decisions that I made them out of emotion. I wasn't thinking clearly. Big mistake, I will never do that again. In terms of what am I willing to let go of? I am willing to let go of the story that I am not a successful entrepreneur, because I am an extraordinarily successful entrepreneur. And it all depends on what my definition of that is, not anybody else's. So when I was telling myself that I was a failure, it was because I was so afraid of what my friends and my family and my coworkers were now going to say about me. But then I said, forget that. That's wearing me down. That's bringing my energy down. So at this stage of my life, where I have 2 young children, 3 years and under, husband, a mortgage, a career, a business, I am very successful. And I'll leave you with this. My takeaway for you, 3 simple statements. Start where you are. Use what you have. And take your time. I may not be the entrepreneur that I see myself being as a 50-year-old version of myself, but man, why am I overwhelming myself? I can be, it's called being effortless efficiency, right? So right now where I'm at, I'm exactly where I need to be because I'm practicing. I now go back to my corporate job and I'm owning this thing. I act like this is my business. It's making me look good. It's making my boss look good. It's making the San Diego team that I support love me. Hey, more power to me. So I'm building my reputation. I'm practicing my public skills, my public speaking skills. I am on company time. I'm networking with other people on behalf of this extraordinary organization. What was I thinking? So the last thing that I'll leave you with is, think of a tree. And I have to give credit to Reverend Wendy from the Unity Center for sharing this with us on Sunday. She said, think of a tree, right? A tree, a flower growing through the cracks of cement. It is what it is. You have natural talents and abilities, same as do I. And the important thing is to take your time and use everything that you have around you to flourish. Because just like a tree doesn't grow overnight, neither is everything that you are aspiring to be. Madam Toastmaster.